I've got to button up a few last minute items, so we're going to throw on the exhaust, put in an O2 sensor for the air fuel gauge, throw on an electric fan, and then tape the car out and drive it. So the exhaust on the car, if you want to call it that, just this. It's some pipe, a muffler, and some down turns. Turn downs. Turn down for what? Whatever you want to say. This pipe, however, has got a bung on it.
My people, we have but one bunghole.
So that's going to be really important. You see, because when it comes to tuning these things, guys can tune them by ear. You listen to it, you adjust the carburetor, you smell how rich it's running, throw a timing light down there on it, and you can get it, dialed in just perfect that way. But the only way to get anything beyond getting the timing just right, feel of the throttle response, is put an air fuel gauge in it. Oh yeah, right there in the top of the package, you've got the gauge itself. It's digital. It's going to tell us what the air fuel ratio is. It's got a rubber band here for something. Oh, it's got a bung to weld onto your existing exhaust if you don't, already have one. Little gauge bezel. Look, you can change it from a black gauge to a white gauge. That's pretty cool. Here else, we've also got some wiring harnesses, a couple of different ones. There's our O2 sensor. Ooh, what else? Do we got a sticker? We're gonna go ahead and thread the new O2 sensor into the exhaust, slide under there, throw the exhaust back on the headers, and then we'll start working on getting the cooling system back together. Exhaust is attached, tucked, I guess, maybe if you want to call it that. I know what you're thinking, and no, it's not great. No, it's not going to stay like that, but it is how it was on the car when I first bought it. Just kind of dangle it off the headers. It should at least do what I need it to get it out of the driveway and around the neighborhood and knock off at least 2 noise complaints. So now we're going to move on to the cooling system. So this is the radiator that I took out of the car. It's a stock factory style unit, but it works. It's not damaged. It's not rusty, crusty. It does what it needs to. This car came, when I bought it, with this plastic Flexolite fan. No clutch, direct drive. The faster the RPMs go up, these spread out, but that's what it had. The only place this is going is the trash. I bought instead this universal 16-inch Mishimoto electric fan and one of their electric fan controller kits. Comes with the relay, all the wiring, a fuse, a probe to put into the cooling system. I'm going to attach this to the radiator. I don't have a shroud for it, but it does come with these push-through style zip ties that are meant to go through the radiator and hold these things on there. So I've got some faith in it. I'm going to zip that onto the radiator real quick, get the radiator in the car. Then I can sort out where I'm going to put the wiring for now, a temporary path and wiring solution, because the ideal places to mount the wiring and the relay and everything else, they're in a pile over there. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll see what we can do about filling it up with coolant. Once we got coolant in the engine, we're set. We're going to make some noise and let it keep making some noise. We'll take a look on the floor here real quick. As you can see, there are 4 of these black barbs sticking out of the radiator here. I've already set the cooling fan down on top of there, figure out where the holes are going to line up, and then put them through. They've got these little black foam sticky pads that come with them. It go through these. That kind of helps isolate noise and vibration, and it also helps protect the surface of the radiator and the cooling fan for when things are, so don't wear out. It also comes with springs to do things with if you want to do something like that. But essentially, what you'll do is you'll poke them through the fins like you see them now. It goes through the holes that are here in the side of the fan shroud. Then the fan sits right down on there. Then you've got the other side of the clips for the zip ties there. You just poke them through, run them down, pull them tight. And now the coolant fan is attached to the radiator. The only downside to these is that if you ever have to take this fan off for something, you got to have a whole nother set of these little zip tie deals to put it back on. So I'll snip the ends off of that, set the radiator in the car, then we start filling up the coolant system. Okay, a little bit of up to speed now. I've off camera just been fighting with this car, trying to get the engine to idle and run like it's supposed to. The ignition time is fighting me. The carburetor is what's really giving me the business. I've probably had this thing off the car 7 or 8 times, making adjustments, changing things, checking on things. I cannot get it to run like it's supposed to. I actually just drained all the oil out of it because it was full of gas. So hopefully I haven't washed down the cylinder walls and the piston rings. I'm about to go under here, put the drain plug back in it, fill it back up with fresh oil, pull it out into the driveway because it gets so exhausting in here with the car running that I can't breathe. So I got to get it out here so I can leave it running long enough for me to be able to check things like idle vacuum, ignition timing, and get a good look at how fuel is flowing through the carburetor. That's crazy. That is the first time that car's done anything for itself in a good long while, but it was running terrible. So now that I've got it outside and I think I'll be able to breathe around it, I'm going to hit it with the starter button, start checking ignition timing, and taking a look at down inside the carburetor, make sure it's not getting any kind of crazy fuel issues. I'm probably going to have to take the carburetor off again and do a couple of different things to it, so I'm going to get on that. All right. First time out of the driveway in a while. Here we go. People are gonna think I'm crazy. Keep an eye on the air fuel mixture while we're driving around. Oh. Still some air in the power steering. Some time has passed, but in that time, when I've had time off of work and whenever I can steal away, I've been working on getting the car running about as best as I can. I've rebuilt the carburetor, I've been working on the carb tuning, I've been working on the ignition timing and other little things just to get the car running the way it ought to. I've also been able to drive it around the neighborhood a little bit, though I don't quite have the clutch completely broken in yet. At least I don't feel like I do. The cooling fan controller is kind of just rigged up there right now to run whenever the ignition is on. I have to plug a wire into it to make it work, but this car has not started at all today. It's about 60 degrees outside. One hard pump on the throttle. Fired right up. Pretty sweet. So I'm going to look over a couple of things with some air pressure in the tires, hook up my fan, pull it out of the garage here, let it warm up, and then I'm going to drive it around the neighborhood a little bit more. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel for more content. In my next video, we're going to take that carburetor, completely rebuild it, put it back on the car, and go through setting it up, setting the ignition timer to get that car running just like it is now. Guys, get out there and work on your own stuff, and don't be afraid to do it the hard way.